Hi, and welcome to Bacon and Eggs.
I'm still Ethan Etchell.
And I am still Tyler Carlin.
This is our weekly podcast where we talk about some of our favorite movies.
And anything else on our minds.
Thanks for tuning in for another great week and another brand new episode.
Or 30 seconds after the last one finished, we literally do not judge.
If this is your first time joining us, we recommend you take a listen to any of our first 6 episodes.
I think it's like 8 episodes now.
Yeah, but the first 6 are the ones that have the big intro.
Gotcha. Well, we will tell you a little bit about who we are in those episodes.
And what we do.
And what this podcast is.
It'll also give you a great background on the other bajillion Marvel movies we've reviewed. And what you're about to hear now.
Yeah, and regardless, either way, no matter what, welcome. We are so glad you've joined us.
We make absolutely no promises as to how long this intro will stick around.
So buckle up, because we're gonna just dive right on in.
Without further ado, Tyler, what did you think of Dodgeball, a true underdog story?
Ethan, I have seen that movie, but I didn't watch it this week. I didn't watch it today either.
Why am I not surprised?
Well,
are you ever going to watch the movies I ask you to watch? I text you every single week, Tyler, watch this movie. Not one time. Not one time has it worked.
Well, but that's what makes you such a great friend, because I texted you and I said, Ethan, make sure you watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Excuse me, sir. It was actually a Snapchat.
Was it a Snapchat?
It was a Snapchat.
And I said, make sure you watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier. You're in for one heck of a ride.
It was a heck of a ride.
Yeah. I mean, released April 4th, 2014. That's 1,319 days ago as of this recording. Only a budget of $177 million.
That was $7 million more than Thor: The Dark World. But they made $100 million more than Thor: The Dark World.
So just a little can get you a lot.
But still a lot less than Iron Man 3. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just say it one time.
This movie made $714.3 million worldwide.
A lot of money. But much less,
a lot of money.
Much less than the $1.2 billion Iron Man 3 made.
Yeah, but it is considerably better. It got an 89% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is 9% better than Captain America 1 did, if you recall.
That's insane.
It is insane. It also got a 92% audience rating. And then the most impressive fact of these altogether.
70 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Correct. It's a strong C.
It's
a passing grade.
Well, that's not strong C. That's a C.
That's a
C minus.
But
that is good enough to get you through most of your major classes.
It is. Like, you don't have to retake that class. So 70 out of 100 on Metacritic. That's an insanely high score. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. We have launched a Facebook group for fans of Bacon and Eggs. So if you want to get to know Ethan and I a little bit better, or meet other people who are interested in this podcast, you can clickety-clack on over to Facebook. There'll be a link in the description to join our Facebook group. It's free, and it will be free forever. Anybody who joins now will never have to pay a dime to be a part of that group.
It will always be free.
It will always be free. We're really, really excited about it. And
so add your friends. Just literally, you can just add them, and they will start getting notifications.
They will, but don't do that if they're not interested. We really want it to be a place where we can come and interact and talk about all the things that we care about, that now we think you all care about as well, outside of the regular podcast. So, Ethan, did you have any other housekeeping?
Well, not necessarily housekeeping, but allow me to diverge from Marvel for 2 seconds.
Okay.
We got literally dozen responses about this last week. We promised the people Billy Joel, and we didn't say a word about Billy Joel.
We did not say a word about Billy Joel. What quick Billy Joel feedback do you have for me?
So I just wanted to get we're just going to do once a week. I think I'm going to invent a new segment that may or may not stick around, but we're going to start from the top and just go down. Tyler, what is your favorite Billy Joel song?
Oh my gosh. What? This is like an insane question.
Yeah, just right off the top of your head, what's the number one that comes to mind?
Oh my gosh. That is like so... Piano Man?
Is it Piano Man? Okay.
Maybe. I need
a hard commitment right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I hope this question stresses you out.
Oh my gosh. Oh god.
Oh jeez, Rick.
Oh my gosh, Rick. Oh, listen, Morty. We need your Billy Joel song. Ethan, I need you to answer first, because I can't. Oh,
this is an easy one for me. It is Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Scenes from an Italian Restaurant is number one.
Vulture.com agrees with me. Yeah, it is the number one Billy Joel song on that list of 121 Billy Joel songs. It ranked. I would agree with that. I know every single word to Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. Like, if I knew how to play piano, I could probably just play it by ear.
I don't think you know how hard piano is.
No, but I know the melody that well off the top of my head that I could figure it out in minutes if I knew how to play piano.
But okay, I think if I opened Spotify right now and was like, what Billy Joel song do I want to listen to more than anything right now, it would probably be Angry Young Man, which is like the most recent Billy Joel song I have discovered and fallen in love with.
It's a great song.
Oh my gosh, it's a very, very cool. Very, very cool.
I'm glad that you did not say We Didn't Start the Fire.
Oh God, no. No, what? No. Yeah, that would probably be what I would start with right now. If you haven't heard that song, and it's totally reasonable if you haven't, I don't want to vilify you if you haven't listened to every Billy Joel song, or even the songs that aren't in the top 10 most popular. It's a really good song. It's like technically very, very cool. It's got some really cool things with it on piano, and it's just a good song.
It is a good song. So yeah, that's my Billy Joel couple of minutes.
So
next week we're gonna give you our second favorite Billy Joel songs.
Oh gosh, this is such a challenge.
I'm gonna keep this going for as long as it's feasible.
The movie starts. We get a flippy book thing from Marvel, so we're still at the flippy book thing. We're not quite at the Marvel Studios Presents.
Oh, really quick, how did you watch this movie? And I'm gonna guess. You're about to say, yeah, I watched it on my Xbox. I rented it for $3.99.
Fun fact, I did not do that. But I was at my in-laws' house, and they don't have my Xbox there. But they do have on-demand through Verizon Fios, and I got on there, and I went to search, and I searched The Winter Soldier, and I watched what was a pre-recorded, but not DVR'd, free streaming version of it for FX. So it may not have all the scenes it's supposed to have, and gotcha. It did have commercial breaks.
It's definitely probably missing some stuff.
Probably missing a few things. So that's me.
I watched this on dot.
Golly, that sounds so bad for your computer.
So, just a fun fact about this movie. So we get the
opening scene.
The opening scene, we get the flippy book thing, and then it opens on nice shots of Sam running through DC.
Yeah, and something happens in this scene that happened to Ethan
while we were in DC 2 days ago. We went to Podfest in Washington DC, and we were walking to
the Capital One Arena
to go get tickets for a Wizards game. And in this scene, Steve keeps running by Sam, the future Falcon, on the National Mall. And he just keeps going, on your left, every time he runs by. And literally, I'm walking through DC, and this man runs up beside me and goes, on your left, and just keeps running. And I just looked at Ty, and I was like, it just happened to me.
It really just happened to you. I literally laughed out loud when I saw that, because you said that it just happened to me, and I was like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't remember this scene at all.
I did, and I was like mentally prepared for this scene to be in this movie.
But I love that scene. I love the way that's introduced. We get a great introduction to a great new character in the movie. And I
love Sam.
I do too. I remember all of the following movies that he's appeared in being like, was he really that big of a deal in Captain America Winter Soldier? Like, was he really that involved? Turns out, yes, he is that involved. He's a huge deal.
I love Sam. I'll tell you why. Sam is 100% in.
Oh, he's all about it.
He is just like, he's Mr. Gung-Ho. He's ready to go.
He is. And he's all about Captain America as well, which is good.
But he's just like, all right, what are we doing? Ooh.
Yeah, what's the next step? What's the next mission?
Where do we go?
Boss?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And he works for the VA with vets who have PTSD, which is very cool.
He's just all around great guy.
Really good guy. And he talks to, who says it? He says, your bed's too soft, it's like a marshmallow. Who says it's
they say
Sam
it to
says
each
it to Sam says it to Cap. He's like, your bed's too soft, right?
Yeah. Your bed's too soft, it's like a marshmallow. And Steve goes, yeah, I think I'm gonna fall over the floor.
Yeah,
and
or something like that.
He just like picks this guy out immediately, and Steve's just like, whoa, he knows, he understands.
Right, it's the first person that like kind of gets what Cap
he's the
is
first,
through.
And we've seen this a lot with different characters throughout this Marvel universe, but he's the first person to treat Steve like a person.
Yeah.
Like just, Steve's another guy to him. Doesn't matter he's Captain America. He's just another patient almost.
He's another guy who can run really fast.
Right. Like he's just a dude.
He can do 13 miles in 13 minutes. And then
30 minutes.
And then some bull crap. Worst detail of the whole movie.
What?
Right after this, we get introduced to Captain America's vehicle, which is
the Corvette.
A Chevy.
Corvette.
A Corvette.
Yeah.
Boo.
Well, technically that's Natasha's vehicle.
Boo. No.
Steve's vehicle's the bike.
His vehicle is a bike. But he drives a Vet, and then later in the movie, he drives a Silverado.
And Nick Fury drives a Tahoe.
I know. Listen, Captain America,
hey,
you're a Ford man.
That was a cool Tahoe.
That was a sweet Tahoe. I drove a Tahoe this weekend. Or a Yukon, whatever. Same thing.
Not same thing.
They are literally the exact same.
No, they're not.
What?
The Yukon's the Suburban.
No, the Yukon XL is the Suburban.
There's a difference?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what my boss has.
I had a Tahoe.
Okay.
Yeah, so boo Cap driving Chevrolet vehicles. I'm not about it. This whole movie had Chevys all up in it. All the cops drove Impalas. It's some even Sam drives a Malibu or an Impala. I couldn't quite tell. It was a very, very action-packed scene.
I think it was an Impala.
It was probably an Impala. But anyway, so Cap drives a vet, and then we meet, who do we meet? Some dude that I said seems like a real bad dude.
Oh no, but there's this great thing, and this has been passed all around the internet because it's different in every country. The little notebook that Steve has.
Oh, is it? Tell me more.
Yeah, so it was a thing I saw on Reddit originally, where it's like in the things that Steve like is supposed to not missed out on. Like it all ends in Trouble Man soundtrack because that is a major part of the movie. Well, not major part, but it comes back in the movie. But it's like the things that he has to know about are different in like Russia and Brazil. And like England.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though he's Captain America?
Yeah, I'll attach a graphic to the show notes, but it's cool. I'll have to go find the post. I'll attach the graphic. It's 4 different shots of the little notebook, and like they're completely different lists.
Huh. Are they all in English?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yep. They're all in English, but that is the thing. Is that they all end in Trouble Man soundtrack though.
Well, yeah, because that's what he's writing.
Right. I know. I'm just saying like. That one is consistent. I think there's 1 or 2 that are consistent on there, but the rest of them, it's like in Russia, it was like the tearing down of the Berlin Wall or something like that. And then like, so like what's important to the history of that country, I guess.
Right.
What is important about America's involvement in the history of that country.
Right. Right.
And Steve's like, yeah, not having polio is great. The internet's nice.
Right. Bye, polio. I've been reading the internet a lot is what he says.
Yeah. It's really helpful. And Steve gets a text. With like a mission from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, a text that's like, hey, we got a mission for you. Let's go.
Yeah, that's wild.
Vamonos. And he goes.
Yeah,
he just goes.
So anyway, they've got a mission. Natasha picks him up to go on a mission. She calls him a fossil.
She does. She says, I thought like, it should have been.
Anybody know where the Smithsonian is? I'm looking for a fossil.
What a clever little line she's got there.
Steve's just like, never heard that one before.
I'm old. We even see like kind of what you're even talking about is that like Sam treats him like a person. Even Natasha, like his only appears to be friend throughout this entire movie, doesn't. And even later in the movie, she's like, if you wanted friends, you're in the wrong line of work, buddy.
Nope, because she is interested in him romantically.
Oh, no, she's not.
Yes, she is.
Nope.
She definitely is.
Nope, I even made a note. I was like, I wonder what Natasha's romantic interests are in this movie.
Oh, and I very much made a note that was like, I'm very sick of this forced Steve and Natasha romantic moments.
Oh, I don't think they're romantic. I think that she is being like a modern spy, and that makes him uncomfortable. Like the relation, like the public relationship they have to have, because she in later movies doesn't have a relationship with Cap.
She has one with Hawkeye.
Banner.
With Banner, right? That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Hawkeye's married.
Right, but like she was shocked when she found that out.
So let's see. They go on this mission. Captain America jumps out of a plane without a
to save the S.H.I.E.L.D. ship that's been
hijacked.
Yeah, hijacked by French pirates.
French pirates. Weird choice of nationality on the pirates. I was going to do some research to find out about the leader of the pirates to see if he was some like cool character with a cool backstory. But I didn't.
Yeah, that's fine.
So sorry,
he's not that important.
No.
Yeah, but I wrote the pirates are French. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it doesn't quite add up to me.
No, that's not very French of them.
No.
But yeah, he hops out of the plane without a parachute, and they're just like, does he have a parachute? And they're just, nope. No, he does not.
Which I think is cool. What do you think, like, implications here? I think it just means that he is that awesome.
Yeah, he knows he's going to land without hurting himself.
Well, I mean, he's diving into the water anyway. He goes through, and I like this, he uses the shield, super cool, like, whipping all these people with the shield.
Yeah,
his way through
great,
this crowd.
like, immediate hallway fight scene.
And then Black Widow shows up and does her little scene where she has to go find something and literally just straight up murders a bunch of people.
Yeah, she like drops through the thing and just bam, 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 bam.
Literally just kills people.
Yeah.
That's all she's doing.
I wrote Black Widow is good with that gun, though.
Yeah, she's very good with that gun. She's good at literally killing people.
Oh, it's great, though. Like, Steve's murking all the people, and he hits people and knocks them all out. And then that one guy is like, hey, what's up? And Romulov, or whatever his name is, comes in and just, like, tranks him. And it's just like, couldn't have done without me.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, they seem to have a nice little rapport there, even though he turns out to be bad later on.
Yeah, he does. Poor evil guy.
But Black Widow is more concerned about information, and Steve is more concerned about hostages, and that weirds Steve out hardcore.
Well, it weirds Steve out that they had different missions, that he was sent there to rescue hostages, and she was sent there to gather intel. But I think that makes sense. You've got two of your super fleet that at this point is only like 7 people.
Right, but Steve is the soldier. He even says it. He's like, I can't lead a mission if somebody else has an ulterior mission.
Right.
And Nick Fury is just like, you're not the boss of Natasha. Like, she does what I tell her to. but
right.
We do get that cool fight with Steve and the villain where Steve takes the helmet off and they fight.
Did you see his helmet hair?
Yeah.
Oh, that was super fun.
They fight man to man, and that guy is way too handsome to be a hired gun villain.
Yeah, well, he was the leader. He was the leader of the French Revolution or whatever. He was do you hear the people sing? I mean, he wasn't that guy, but he was the leader of the French people.
That guy is Eddie Redmayne.
I know. I just no, it's not. It's Aaron Tveit.
Well, they both are. But
yeah,
Aaron Tveit. Yes, that is his name. From Nashville.
From Nashville. Well, also from revolutionary France.
Yes.
And people who know the actual event that whole movie was about, listen, I know it's not.
It wasn't the French Revolution. We get it.
We get it. Okay, but it was. But it wasn't. But it was. But whatever. Whatever.
It was a very failed revolution.
Yeah, it didn't go well at all.
No.
But this guy, so he says to Captain America, "I thought you were more than just a shield." So Cap takes his helmet off, puts the shield on his back,
and they just have a kung fu fight.
Yeah, but I love the choreography in this movie. As far as that's concerned, I thought this was very cool. But are we trying to see that Captain America has some sort of pride-related weakness? Why would you ever give yourself some sort of disadvantage to fight somebody?
I don't think it's a pride-related weakness. I think he knows that he can mark that guy regardless.
I mean, yeah. But he would mark him much faster if he could just whack him with a shield.
Yeah, but I mean, Steve's the gentleman's fighter or whatever. He grew up in the gentleman's war.
Yeah.
He's not a gorilla. He's the greatest generation.
Right.
He's not a gorilla fighter. I don't know.
Natasha's got some pride issues. That was my next note.
Yeah. So she gets her information. Steve gets the hostages. Everybody's happy, and they go back to America.
Yep. And then there's a great story that comes out of his conversation with Nick Fury, but I can't remember what it was.
Nick Fury has a great line right here.
What does he say?
He says, "Nobody spills the secrets because nobody knows them all.
Except you."
And Steve goes, "Except you."
Yep.
And Nick Fury tells the whole story about his granddad, operated an elevator, and would always get tipped and would go home, and the people were nice, and then they were less nice, and then they were way less nice, and he started carrying a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick Fury turns around yeah, my guns are a little bigger, though. Talking about the helicarriers.
We got a problem now. We got big old helicarriers that are bad news, man. Yep. Bad news bears.
We got big old floaty ships.
We don't want them.
Nope.
We all got them. We don't want them.
Yeah, Nick Fury's we're way ahead of the curve, and Steve says, by holding a gun to everyone on Earth and calling it protection.
Yep.
Which I think is a really interesting, it's a strong play right here. You've got Patriot versus the government.
Yeah. You've got this I think is why this movie is so great right here.
This could not be a more 2017 movie made in 2014.
Oh, yeah. Because, what you're saying right here is, we're looking at defense spending versus attack spending almost with the helicarriers,
right?
And yeah, it's there's a point to be made here. Pick it up, Ethan.
Well, because Steve never lived through the age of nuclear deterrence.
That's true.
So for Nick Fury, it's freaking obvious that this is the way to go about it. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but for him and for the grew up in the wave of everybody else had a bigger weapon, so we have to have a bigger weapon. Steve didn't go through that. Steve never got to see the nuclear weapon used. He just got to see it being built.
Right.
So he doesn't know. I mean, he knows, but he didn't grow up like that. He didn't live like that. He is still about the sword and shield.
Right.
He very much believes that you have to trust people in order to defend them. So I think we do get a little bit of prideful Steve though, because in the next scene, Steve is visiting his own Smithsonian exhibit.
He's not being prideful. He's thinking about Bucky, old Buckarino.
Is that what you think's going on?
I think he's just seeing he's kind of I guess comparing how things were to how things are, and going to his own Smithsonian exhibit is a lens of what they perceived now he was then.
But it did not strike me as this is the first time Steve's been here.
No, I think he goes there pretty regularly. Yeah. I think he probably had some part in putting it together.
Definitely had some part in putting it together.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I did have a note here as a sidebar that the score in this movie is freaking amazing.
Weirdly enough, I had the exact same note.
Yeah, I just right in this scene, it was a lot of Harry Potter-ish, John Williams motify kind of but also patriotic mixed in going on, and I was this is a really cool musical moment.
Yeah, it definitely was. I was all about it.
As a sidebar, whoever did the score in this movie was bang on.
Yeah,
just excellent. Excellent.
I completely agree.
Excellent work. But Steve goes and visits Peggy, who is still alive.
Peggy is still alive and still played by the same actress.
Yep. And she has a husband.
She married.
So
a husband that he saved in war.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's one of his boys.
I don't know if it was one of his boys. I didn't quite catch it because I'm going to blame the FX movie thing. I don't think it's one of his boys. I think it's one of the guys he saved from the first.
It's possible, but I don't think it was quite catchable. But I think they were directing it to be like it was one of the Howling Commandos.
You think so?
I think so.
I mean, there's an entire TV show about this woman. I'm sure we could find
Probably. It probably tells us who she marries. Shoot us an email, tweet at us if you know who Peggy Olson. Not Peggy Olson. I keep doing that. Peggy Carter marries.
Who's Peggy Olson?
Peggy Olson's the girl from Mad Men.
Gotcha. If you can figure that out, let us know. I'm sure we could too with a quick Google search. But,
call me, tweet me if you want to reach me.
Right. Yeah. And then Peggy, they're having that conversation, and I literally cried after this conversation when her dementia kicks in.
Oh my God!
And
that one hit me hard.
And you see that like Cap has had this conversation with her 15 times.
That hit me hard.
And oh my God, that was insane.
It sucks watching a loved one go through that. Like that is tough.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was, oh my God.
Yeah, he turns around for like 30 seconds and he comes back and she is just straight up Rachel McAdams him.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you're not talking about The Notebook right now.
Yeah, I'm talking about The Notebook.
Oh, it gets me every time.
Yeah, it's tough. But that was hard. I think it was almost unnecessary.
I don't. I think it was totally necessary.
Really? You think it added something?
I think it absolutely added something.
What do you think it added?
It shows that like even though like he's been trying to connect to the life he had before this whole time. That's why he goes to his Smithsonian Museum. That's why he is a soldier again. Like that's his whole shtick, is he's trying to reconnect with the person he was before, because he can't grasp. Like he's grasping it a little bit. He's on the internet. He's riding in new Corvettes and stuff, but he can't quite grasp the modern world. And the one piece of the past that he can reach out to that's still here
is Peggy. And she's only sort of there. She's still like a memory.
Right. I think that's what it adds to it.
Well,
do you agree?
Well, yeah, and the thing is like they can never move on from the moment in which she learns Steve is still alive.
Right.
Like you learn about that in what's that movie? About Time, that like the time starts right there.
Right.
For them. And that's tough. That's tough to deal with.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Super sad.
It's making me very sad.
And then we get Nick Fury back in his office.
We get a lot of Nick Fury in this movie.
We do.
We get a
Nick
whole bunch on his own, which is new. But yeah, Nick Fury can't even get into his own files.
Yeah, it says he locked himself out of them.
He's like, the computer's like, the file's locked. And he's like, by who? Nicholas J. Fury.
What do you think that is? Do you think somebody is impersonating him in some way that we never get to see? Or do you think somebody went above him and put his name in? What do you think happened?
I have no idea. I have no clue. I don't know that it's properly explored.
I don't either. I think that I really don't know what happened there.
No idea. No clue.
And then I don't know. But he's going through the whole thing, and then Cap jumps into his office in this scene, correct?
Cap jumps into his office.
Not jumps, but like is in his office in the scene, correct?
Is he? No, that's later on.
It is later on. Okay.
That's after Nick gets attacked.
You're right. He goes upstairs.
Yeah, because Steve goes to visit Sam after this.
There was a scene earlier in the movie, I'm just going to swing back to it real quick, where it was the scene where he hears about Natasha and everything, and he, is addressing Nick Fury, where they have to get in an elevator to go up to, I guess, the top floor to talk to Robert Redford, right?
That's this scene, but Nick goes alone.
Well, there's a part where they get in the elevator. I don't know. I can't remember when it happens, but there's a part where they get in the elevator together, and it says Steve Rogers does not have access because he's level 8 access, and Nick Fury's level 10.
Yeah.
And what I said right there is that it drives me crazy that S.H.I.E.L.D. does not take the superheroes seriously. That I guess what really made this was when Robert Redford's little group of council or whatever was like, Nick Fury and his band of merry gentlemen or whatever they call them are just caped crusaders fighting petty crime. We have bigger matters to attend to. And it drives me so insane that S.H.I.E.L.D. is like, these aren't important people, that our hired mercenaries could ever be as good as the superheroes.
Right. Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't understand, or the Security Council doesn't understand.
Right.
At all. They have no idea what they're dealing with. Yeah. And Captain America's probably the least of their problems, TBH.
Yeah. I mean, there is a god that can come to Earth.
Yep.
And there is a
Hulk.
Hulk as well.
Iron Man can do a lot more damage in minutes than Cap can.
Yeah.
To a building.
Right. If you're worrying about infrastructure. Yeah. Captain America is probably the least of your worries.
Right. But yeah, so Steve goes to visit Sam at his PTSD support group, and Sam tells him about his wingman, that everybody has the same problems, that there's only a couple things everybody's dealing with.
And this is another point where we get to see that Sam and Cap can really relate with one another.
Right, he's just another soldier.
Well, not only is he another soldier, but he lost his wingman.
Yeah.
And Cap lost Bucky, which we can see in this movie is still a huge
deal for Steve.
Huge deal to him.
Yeah. Huge issue for Steve.
And that's still super affecting him. And like I said when we talked about Captain America, the first Avenger, I felt like Bucky's role was not stressed enough in this movie for me to be like, oh, Bucky really matters that much. And I think this movie does a good job of circling back around to that and showing that like his relationship with the whole of the Howling Commandos, specifically with Bucky, was a huge deal.
And we get that scene right after, I guess, Steve's mom died.
Is that what it was?
I think that's what it was. Steve's mom had just died, and Bucky was just like, "Dude, I'm in it for the long haul. Like, I'm your family. Like,
right. You can stay with me if you need to. Right. I can help you out here and there. It's no problem.
Right."
And Steve's like, "I don't need any help," and Bucky's like, "It's not because you need it. It's like don't turn it away if it's being offered to you.
Right.
You know,
like you're my brother. Like we're through this."
Right.
And I think that was necessary. They need to at least throw that in there because I don't think they got to it enough in the first movie about Steve and Bucky. But
yeah.
That's fine because they get it in this movie.
Yeah, and then so the next scene we get is the Tahoe scene.
Yeah,
with,
Nick gets attacked.
Nick Fury.
And
Nick gets attacked, and his car says something that just would never happen. It said DC Metro Police shows no units in this area. Okay, listen, I was just in DC. Those cops are literally everywhere.
Right, but like, I mean, I think it would know. I think it's basically saying like there's no.
All of these cops you're seeing are not cops.
All these cops you're seeing are not cops. That car is really chipper for what's going on. The car is just like, we have no power. Everything is terrible.
You know what's crazy is what I love about this is that it proves Nick Fury right. That he's like prepared for everything. Like his car has the turret in it. It's got propulsion. It's got like
it can fly.
Reinforced windows that can take multiple hits from a battering ram. Yeah. And it shows that all of this defense preparation is necessary. And I think that that's both good and bad. But he does, after this happens, he like immediately lets up and he's like, Project Insight's got to go.
Yeah. So he's not, they attack him like straight up. There's a lot of guns going at him.
Yeah.
And
there are.
Just out of nowhere. Because we hadn't gotten any kind of villain up to this point.
Right. We had the French guy.
Right. But like, villain.
Right.
Like they handled
dude.
The French guy.
Right. That guy's done.
Yeah. So Nick thinks he gets away, and then Bucky blows the car up. We don't know it's Bucky. It's the Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier blows the car up. But before, listen, I have few complaints with this movie. I do. One of them is Agent Hill.
Okay.
As everyone should know. The other is, and it happens twice in this movie. Two times, Ethan.
Okay, what happens?
He just digs a tunnel out of the situation, and everything's
fine.
literally
digs a hole in the ground.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's the cheapest escape ever.
I wrote Fury digs a hole in the ground ?
With like a lightsaber.
Yeah, no idea.
Nope, not about it.
I guess he gets into the metro. Like,
oh, the metro. We rode the metro
a lot.
Getting on the blue line.
Yep. I left my phone on the metro.
You did leave your phone on the metro. Yeah, no, that was stupid.
What, me leaving my phone on the metro? Yeah, that was real dumb.
That was real dumb, Ethan.
I know. I got it back. It's a miracle.
So then we're back in Cap's apartment where he like talks to the neighbor girl. And if you want to know one of my other complaints about this movie, it's what this neighbor girl ends up being.
That she's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, he's just like flirting with her and is like, hey, do you want to come use my laundry machine? Winky, winky face. But yeah, she's like, you left your stereo on. And Steve waits for her to turn around and just goes, the hell I did. Like,
no, yeah, I definitely didn't do that.
Yeah. So he goes in through the window.
Yep.
And Nick Fury's just kind of sitting there.
And obviously Nick Fury has bugged the apartment because he's obsessed with intel.
Yeah, they have two conversations here, like one out loud and then one on the text message.
On the text message on his phone, which I think is silly. Like, Nick Fury, I know you think that the room is bugged correctly, but you think that your phone is not bugged and they're not going to be able to see what you're typing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly 2014 and not 2017 where this happened.
Yeah.
Have you seen Snowden? Pretty sure
I haven't.
What you type on that phone.
I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, worth a watch. Oh. Definitely worth a watch.
I'll check it out.
That's not what we're talking about next week, though.
We could.
It's not.
No. Next week we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. This Phase 2 thing is so crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Every week is like a pleasant surprise.
It's like a mystery. Like movies I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Yeah. So they have two conversations over the text message, and it does zero bit of good because Fury still gets wrecked.
Fury totally wrecked.
Just
he gets shot. Shield is compromised.
3 times.
Agent Coulson died for nothing.
Yep.
This is all just...
Nick Fury's dying. Gosh. The cute neighbor girl comes in and is like, Captain Rogers?
I'm an agent of
and she's like, what? Steve's like, what? Kate? She goes, yeah, Kate, whatever, sure. Great.
Agent 13.
Yeah, I'm Agent 13.
Boo. Stupid.
Agreed.
They didn't like that.
Agreed.
That's 1 point off. But then we get better than a car chase. The car chase earlier was very cool, but then this running scene, even better.
Oh, yeah, where Steve Steve's like, what does he say? I don't know, they're like, do you have eyes on the shooter? And Steve's just like, he says something cool, like something badass.
He is a badass.
Yeah. And then just hops through the window across an entire street onto the next building.
You gotta remember, you seem to keep forgetting that, like, Captain America can super jump.
Apparently. But, like...
He's done it in every single movie.
It's always cool, though.
It is always cool.
Yeah.
It is always
And he throws the shield, and the Winter Soldier catches it with a crazy robot arm and throws it back at Steve, and he, like, almost falls off the building.
Yeah.
And
Steve throws it with, like...
Steve's like, all right, go. You good, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I am outmatched.
Yeah, Winter Soldier straight badass.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep. But Nick Fury dies.
Nick Fury is, well, dead.
Yeah. And Natasha is busted up about this.
Yeah, she's not feeling super good. Neither is Agent Hill, but I don't care. In fact, my note literally says, OMG, boo, OMG, 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 get out, Robin. No one likes you, Patrice. Get rid of Agent Hill.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And that was what I said.
Yeah. But Nick Fury dies, and the strike team is like, Steve, you got to come back to S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ now. And Steve's like, whoa, Nelly, hang on a second. The guy's like, now.
Yeah, and Steve's just like, I'm just trying to have a conversation with my good friend Natasha here. And clearly, you're not okay with that.
And he stows the data thing, flash drive, that's the word, in the vending machine behind some bubble gum.
Which, I mean, like, very cool idea, but how on earth did he do that?
I have no idea. No idea.
I'm not mad. I'll let that one slide.
No, but you need, like, a key.
Right.
I have no clue.
I'll let it go, but that's... Maybe the guy was stalking it while he was there.
I guess.
I just didn't catch that.
It's possible. But he goes with them. He does not trust them, but he goes with them. And...
Rightly so.
Gets to go talk to Alexander Pierce.
Does not trust him.
And Pierce is just like, oh, me and Nick Fury back in Bogota. Oh, man. Yeah, wouldn't you just know about, Colombia? He's just like, old Dynamite Nick back there in Colombia, man. War stories. Whoo, boy.
Yeah, he's looking at these pictures of them together. I think that's this scene. And he's like, this is Nick and I 5 years ago. And I was like, that's 5 years ago? This looks like 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Robert Redford.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. I don't trust that guy at all. I don't trust that guy even a little bit. But then he's given a hard sales pitch over to our boy Captain America. Yeah. I don't want you to just not trust Nick Fury. I want it to be your idea not to trust Nick Fury.
Steve is not buying it.
No, Steve's not buying it.
Yeah.
And Steve's bad at lying in this scene, which I guess, like, hey, honest Abe.
Right, but Pierce tells him the straight up truth, though. And it's just like, well, he uses the truth to his advantage, where, like, Fury hired the pirates.
Fury did hire the pirates.
But he
bends
the reason.
Right.
He's like, Fury was doing something illicit, and, it was a sale of bad information. The sale went wrong, and that's why Fury is dead. And Steve's like, if you ever met Nick Fury, you know that's not true.
Right. And then in this scene, Alexander Pierce has a line that is, like, so very, very, very clearly, like, this guy is the villain in this movie.
What is that line?
This guy is straight up evil. He says, building a better world means tearing down the old one.
Yeah, no, that's a villainous line.
That's an evil person line.
That guy's a problem.
Yeah. Did you catch that? Or
I didn't. That went straight over my head.
Yeah. No, that's a scary thing to say.
To be fair, there's going to be some stuff that goes over my head. In this one, I was having trouble staying awake. Not because the movie wasn't bad. I'm just really tired.
Really tired? Yeah.
So I caught myself a couple times nodding off during the movie, but I did not have time to go back.
I will tell you what I did during this movie is I took the Ethan Edgehill approach to taking notes and took notes on my phone because my iPad was dead, and it still is right next to me. And anytime you or anybody else would text me, I would be distracted from the movie for a few moments. So I tried to do that during commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Because there was commercials in my movie.
That sucks. But we get this really cool elevator fight scene.
So, my gosh.
Yeah, and it's just like super awkward and people keep getting in the elevator. And at first Steve's just like, oh, hey, it's Romanov. What the heck is his name?
I don't know. Romulov?
Rumlow. That's it.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it. Rumlow. I think we're gonna.
Huh.
Yeah, Brock Rumlow.
Fun fact about elevators: did you know that not only was Nick Fury's grandfather an elevator operator, but so was Samuel L. Jackson's grandfather?
Really?
Yep.
Did not know that.
Yep.
Did not know that at all. That's cool though.
Yep.
That's probably Sam Jackson probably didn't know how to script there. They were just like, just say something.
I mean, it's possible.
Probably an actual story about his grandfather. I have no idea.
Might have been.
Maybe. I might be completely wrong. Anyway, Steve has this great line here before the beginning of the fight where he says, at this point he realizes like they're about to go down because he sees the guy sweating, everybody's really awkward, and like three huge dudes just walked in the elevator. And he goes,
and he's got,
before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
That was very considerate of him.
Yeah. Just like, I'm going to give you the chance to not get your butt beat.
I can't believe that they thought they were going to win.
Nah, yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, I mean, you can put as many people as you want. It's an elevator. Like, the guy that all he has to do is swing his giant indestructible shield is gonna win.
Yeah, exactly. But needless to say, Steve beats the crap out of like 15 dudes in this elevator.
Yeah. I one thing we learned here, Steve not super negatively receptive to tasers.
Yeah. Doesn't really do a whole lot to him.
You can tase him, but you will not slow him down.
Yep. He can't be stopped.
He is immensely strong.
Yeah, very much so.
And powerful.
Very much so. That shield probably isn't like super light.
No, it doesn't look light.
Yeah.
It looks pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty heavy. But they have these cool magnetic cuff things that don't work because he just like is so strong. Yeah. And the guy, Rumlow, is like, this isn't personal. And then Steve marks him and it's just like, it feels personal.
Feels pretty personal to me.
And he just jumps out of the elevator straight through another building into the lobby.
Yep. No, he jumps out of the elevator, not into the lobby, into like the, is this not the scene I'm thinking of where he jumps out of the elevator and he lands like on the ground outside?
No, he jumps like into another room, like through a glass ceiling into the lobby.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking of something
and then
else.
Gets up and runs away and goes and gets his bike out like in the nick of time.
In the Nick Fury of time?
Yep. And he smashes the Quinjet with his shield.
And in this particular scene, I made a note where I actually went in and used the italics feature in my Apple Notes app, which I don't know if you've ever had to do, but like it takes a while.
Yeah.
But I said I'm not entirely sure why they're after him. And they do explain it here in
like 2 seconds.
But I was like, why is everybody so mad at Captain America? Shouldn't you be like trying to recruit him for Hydra?
Yeah, I didn't think his conversation with Pierce went all that bad, but apparently it did. Right. And that was my one kind of complaint about this movie.
It didn't go good. Well, I think that's one of the great things about his conversation with Pierce is if you're not paying attention, like Pierce is like, you're with me or against me, and if you're against me, I'll kill you. And he even says that right at the end of the conversation. And it sounds like not necessarily that Captain America is against him, although he is after this moment.
Well, I missed that.
But he's not with him.
I missed that.
And I think Redford's picking up on that.
Yeah, I missed that a little bit. But he does explain, he gives them an explanation because Agent 13 is like, hey, if we're going to go after Captain America, you kind of got to say why. And Pierce comes in and is like, he lied to S.H.I.E.L.D. And they try to paint him responsible for Fury's death.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous. And if you ever met Steve Rogers, you would know that that's a lie.
Right. And Agent 13 has. She lived right next to him.
Yeah.
She even wanted to get coffee with him.
Yep. She wanted to use his laundry machine.
Yep. Weird.
But they managed to get the disc back, and they figure out that like the AI is in New Jersey. Something is in New Jersey. Wherever the disc came from is in New Jersey.
It's not just in New Jersey. Like, yeah, the home point or whatever. Is it source code?
Yeah, something like that. Is in Camp Lejeune. But before that, we get the introduction to the Winter Soldier. Like, Natasha knows who it is.
Yeah. I think I've always liked the idea of the Winter Soldier. I know that when I played Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I wasn't crazy about the character as a villain in that game because he was like I didn't get it. The graphics in that game just weren't at a point where you could tell that one of his arms was robotic and not just a sleeve.
Right.
That was gray. But prior to that, I must have heard the name and like really attached to it because I don't know if you remember, but in high school, my Xbox Live gamer tag
Arctic Soldier 35?
Arctic Soldier 35.
Yeah.
And I think that came from this.
I was going to bring that up at some point.
Subliminally.
Like, is this why you're Arctic Soldier?
I don't know that I ever had heard of the character of the Winter Soldier until I played Ultimate Alliance.
I mean, it's pretty reasonable.
But I think I must have heard the name because where else would I have gotten?
Well, did you create the gamer tag before you played Ultimate Alliance?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yes. Arctic Soldier 35 was like when I only ever played Halo.
Right. Didn't Ultimate Alliance like come with your Xbox?
It did.
Wasn't that a thing?
It did, but I would not have played it to that point.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I don't know then. I don't know.
But I think I've always liked that name.
Fair enough.
I even think and I could definitely be recalling this incorrectly, but I think I even put in like Winter Soldier 35 and that was taken. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
And I think now I'm learning why that was taken.
Yeah, now you understand.
Right.
But anyway, the source code is in New Jersey and there's this really awkward, like, they're driving the car together and they have this little romantic scene.
They do. They're lovey-dovey on each other.
And I don't like it.
No. But before that, he has the scene where he says, you probably look terrible in bikinis, which I thought was funny.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously being sarcastic.
And then they go and get the new iPhone at the Apple store.
They don't do that.
Well, no, that was when they were searching for... Sorry, this is out of order. You skipped ahead to my notes.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they went to the Apple store. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't write notes about that for some reason. I don't know why.
So they
went to the Apple
source
store.
Code at an Apple store.
And they pretend to be, like, fiancés.
And that funny dude shows up. Yep. So let's get back to the scene with them in the Silverado. It opens with a really weird shot where it's looking at a sign that says "Welcome to New Jersey," and then like a tow truck carrying 2 vehicles, one is a Subaru, drives past, and then we see the Silverado, and it pans back to the sign that says "Welcome to New Jersey," and then we're in the Silverado.
Right.
It was like the weirdest shot. I don't know if it was just in the made-for-TV version, and that's how, they were going to introduce it after a commercial break, because this was right after a commercial break. But it was like super weird. I was like thrown off. I usually shots are not supposed to affect you unless they're supposed to affect you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in the movie I was watching, I didn't notice that. So
okay, it was very strange.
Yeah, no, it seemed perfectly normal when I was watching it.
And then in that conversation they're having, he says to her, she's talking about like the way she lives her life. And he says, is that a tough way to live or a good way not to die? And I thought that was interesting.
It's both.
It's both?
I think it's both.
It's both?
Probably, because her life probably isn't great, but she's also not getting killed.
She's definitely not getting killed. She's super good at not dying. Yeah. For we're going to get to this pretty soon, so I'm excited about it. But she says you're in the wrong business of having friends. And then they get to the spot.
Yeah. To Camp Lejeune.
And they're driving through. This does not look even a little bit like what it looked like in the other movie.
Well, it probably was like decommissioned pretty recently.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think it's decommissioned in real life. So like,
I don't know. It seemed weird. Like he was like the spot where the flagpole was like, I thought that was going to be out in like a field somewhere, but it was like right in the center of camp when you pull in.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit unusual, but I guess I just may have misinterpreted it when I watched it originally.
It's possible. I don't know.
And it's about at this point that I noticed that where I was sitting watching this movie was freezing cold. And I made a note of it. And he notices there's a new building there that wasn't there when he was
there. They're just like, this is there's nothing here. Natasha's like, there's not even microwaves here. Like, there's nothing. And Steve just goes, military regulation says you can't store munitions within 500 feet of a base or a barracks. That building's in the wrong spot.
Yep. And then they go in there.
And it's a shield base.
And she's looking at all the pictures on the wall, and he's like, look, she's like, that's Howard Stark. Oh, who's the girl? Like, don't people know who Peggy is? Agent Carter is like a person. She's credited with starting S.H.I.E.L.D. People know that like her and Captain Rogers have a relationship.
Yeah, but I think she's probably only seen Peggy in like her older years, and that was a pretty young picture. Like,
I don't think so. I think in like his little Smithsonian spot, there's pictures of her and stuff. And like, do
you really think Black Widow's gone and visit the Steve Rogers exhibit at the Smithsonian?
100% yes. I think she is like Mrs. Intel.
Maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, whatever. I just thought that was a silly thing. But then they go in and there's a War Games reference, which I was super excited about.
She looks over and goes, shall we play a game?
And she's like, that's from a famous movie and he's like, I've seen it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that came out the year she was born. Well, born. Air quotes born, because he then goes like, Natalia Romanova, born 1984.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, born 1984? What's that?
I was like, yeah, okay, born on Earth in 1984. Came from Anaheim in 1984.
Yeah, Vanaheim.
Anaheim.
Who knows where
she's definitely not from Vanaheim. We've been over this. She's not Asian.
She's not Asian. Well, Russia is in Asia.
Not the white part of Russia.
Oh my gosh. It could be. It's Moscow's in Asia, isn't it?
Yes. No, it's not. It's in Europe.
No?
Moscow is in Europe.
Transcontinental countries.
Yes. But, yeah, so Dr. Zola is a computer. Like, a lot of computers.
Yeah. He's one supercomputer built in an era where, like, he could probably be an iPhone now.
Where supercomputers are made of cassette tapes.
Right. Supercomputers do not fit in your pocket. Yeah. But I love this. I love Dr. Zola coming back and being this super genius. Because I remember at the end of Captain America 1, he was not even all about the whole Hydra thing. And then Hydra gave him glory. And glory is how he was sold. And he is given this great Hydra role.
Mr. Hydra
he's
now.
Immortal. And he is Mr. Hydra. And his shield is Hydra, and Hydra is shield, and it's the New World Order. Yep. And I think I know why this movie is so good, Ethan. I think I do, because it is very well thought out, and Zola's in it as a computer, and it's extremely good. And this is when I'm really starting to get into the exciting part of this movie.
Yeah. He says the new Hydra grew inside S.H.I.E.L.D., feeding chaos and reaping war.
Oh god, his whole thing was
it shows they killed Howard Stark and all kinds of stuff.
And and it's like you get this whole like everything that S.H.I.E.L.D. has ever done has been so that Hydra could be getting stronger and better. Right. And you've been doing it yourself, Captain America. You have been doing missions for S.H.I.E.L.D. and you have been working for Hydra. Right. Oh my god.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is completely corrupted.
Yeah.
All the way to the top.
There's not even a way out of it. Even, even Nick Fury, whose secrets have secrets, he has been working for Hydra unknowingly.
Yeah, they got Nick Fury to be a Hydra spy.
Right. Oh my gosh. What a scene. And this whole scene, the dialogue is so great, which is something so rare in these movies, that you get like real nuanced dialogue.
Great dialogue. And he even admits that he's just been stalling.
Yep.
Zola,
he says, I've been monologuing. And that's the only power he has, is to talk.
Yep. That's all he's got. And then he dies.
Yep. He dies for Hydra.
Yep.
Cut off one head and two shall grow in its place.
Yep. Hydra. He dies. He gets blown up by a missile.
Yep.
That doesn't kill Steve or Natasha. So really, that just sucks for Dr. Zola. Died for nothing.
Did he die for nothing?
Yeah, he died for nothing.
Or did Phil Coulson die for nothing?
Yeah, no, Phil Coulson died for something.
Well, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
Phil Coulson stood for something, died for something, and Loki is in prison. No, he's not. Loki's on the throne of Asgard, but maybe he did die for nothing. Never mind. You're right. Yeah,
so not only is Loki on the throne of Asgard, but S.H.I.E.L.D. is like a bad guy. So... And when he died, it's not even like the blast he hit Loki with is what imprisoned him even then.
Yeah, no. Yep.
It was like a minor inconvenience.
Yep, Phil Coulson died for nothing. You're right.
Fun fact, since we're already derailed, I'm going to just talk about this real quick. I recently, by the way, you can go to audibletrial.com/eggs to get a free month of Audible on us. And I actually recommend you do that because there's this excellent 17-hour audiobook. So if you can't get enough of Marvel... you can definitely do this. It's called The History of Marvel. I can't remember who it's by, but Ethan will put it in the show notes. While I was listening to that book, I learned that while Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were in the heyday of Marvel back in the day, they had what was called the Marvel Method. Have you heard of this, Ethan?
I have not.
This is actually the coolest thing ever. Now, I don't particularly read comic books. Ethan and I are definitely cinematic comic fans. Yeah. I've tried to get into them. I just can't. But the way that they did it back in the day before you could have these blockbusters, and it was accessible to everyone, was Stan Lee would write a summary of the book that was coming out and would hand it to the artists.
Right.
And they were on such a symbiotic relationship kind of team that the artists would draw the whole thing out and just put in like the whole story. And then Stan Lee would go back and write all the dialogue that he had not yet written. So he gave a lot of creative control to the artists, as opposed to working directly with them while they were drawing it. Right. He just gave them like a summary, and then he would add in the dialogue, and it was like this really cool Marvel.
Super
Isn't that the
cool.
Coolest thing?
I had no idea.
Isn't that the coolest thing you'd ever
heard?
Yeah.
That is an unprecedented degree of creative control given to other people that aren't the creator. That's so cool.
Yeah. I was listening to it and I was like, that is insane. That is
awesome.
And I thought that was very cool. Also, fun fact about the history of Marvel that I learned from this book. Two of Marvel's first big characters. The very first character it published. Do you know who it was?
I do not.
Do you have any guess?
I'm going to say Captain America.
No. Captain America was a huge success in the early comic book era, but the first character that Marvel published was actually the Human Torch.
Really?
Yeah. The Human Torch and Namor.
Really?
Yep.
No idea. That's awesome.
Yep. The idea was fire and water. They were just going to do that because Superman was too powerful.
That's cool.
And they didn't want to directly compete with DC because everybody was doing that. So they wanted to do something different.
That's cool. I had no idea.
Yep. So honestly, the book's a super easy read. I definitely recommend it to everybody. It's worth listening to. And then one of its other first characters, of course, was Captain America. Captain America, cinematically played by Chris Evans, who was also one of the
Human Torches.
Yeah, one of the Human
Ironically
Torches.
enough.
Which I thought was pretty
The other Human Torch is gonna be the villain in Black Panther.
It's a great start if you're trying to be a Marvel hero.
Yeah. Be the Human Torch in a really bad movie and we'll make you something.
Yeah. Well, the first Fantastic Four...
Don't even go there. Just don't even finish that sentence. If you're about to defend that movie, we're moving on.
I mean, not Fantastic. That movie sucked.
What?
Fantastic.
What are you talking about?
The newest Fantastic
No, I'm talking about the original one with Chris Evans.
Chris Evans and Jessica Alba.
Blew. It wasn't as bad as the new one, but it blew.
Did it?
Yeah.
I remember watching it like multiple times because I enjoyed it. But I
remember you loving that movie and not understanding it.
Low standards for film when I was younger. Yeah. Like real low. In fact, when I was very young, like under 8 years old, I would watch Batman and Robin with George Clooney every single day.
See, I watch Batman Forever every single day.
Is that Michael Keaton?
Yes. No, that's not Michael Keaton. It is Val Kilmer. It's the only Val Kilmer. There are two Michael Keatons.
Oh, I thought there was...
There are two Michael Keatons.
Who was Mr. Mom? Was Val Kilmer Mr. Mom, or was
Michael Keaton is Mr. Mom?
Michael Keaton is Mr. Mom. Okay.
Val Kilmer is I don't know what else he's done. He was in
Val Kilmer. We talked about this briefly many episodes ago about actors whose name sounds like the character they're portraying. Val Kilmer doesn't sound like Bruce Wayne, but Val Kilmer, to me, if you don't know who Val Kilmer is, sounds like a superhero.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And I don't know who Val Kilmer is, honestly. Outside of being Batman,
I'm looking through here to see if there's anything you would know him in. It doesn't matter because we've got a great scene here with where Alexander Pierce murders his cleaning lady.
Yeah, straight up just kills her for no reason.
He is sitting there, and the Winter Soldier is sitting in his kitchen, and he's making breakfast or whatever, and turns around and is like, "Whoo, Buck, you scared me, buddy. Come on now."
Yeah, you came out of left field there, pal.
And Renata, the cleaning lady, is like, "Okay, Mr. Pierce, I go home now." And he's like, "All right,
he's like,
good. Get the heck out of here." And then he starts to sit down and talk to the Winter Soldier, and she comes back, and he just goes, "Oh, Renata, why didn't you knock?" And then bang,
straight up murders her.
Dang, man,
straight
harsh.
up. I mean, real harsh stuff. But again, another reason why this movie is so great is that it gives you that that.
Yeah,
you know
for sure. And he says he wants Steve and Natasha dead within 10 hours.
That's a quick timeline.
Yeah, especially since it's the middle of freaking night.
And last time you tried to kill them, you sent a ballistics missile to their location.
And it didn't work.
Yep.
So where does Steve and Natasha go? Sam's house.
Yep. Where else would you go?
Yep. They go, "We need a place to lay low. Everyone we know is trying to kill us." And Sam goes, "Not everyone.
Not everybody. I'm going to let you in." Love the Falcon. Love this guy a lot.
Oh, he's great.
Huge
He's
fan.
great. They're sitting there, and Steve and Natasha have a conversation, and Natasha's like, I messed up. I feel like I just traded in the KGB for Hydra. And that's the most background we've ever gotten on Natasha, that she straight up worked for the KGB.
Yeah. In 1984, when she was born?
No, I'd imagine more recently than that. The KGB's still a thing.
Is it still a thing?
Yeah, it's just the Russian CIA.
You're teaching Tyler.
Yeah, it's the Russian intelligence. I know that because of a movie I watched, Hunt for Red October.
In this scene, I thought almost for certain she was going to disappoint me, and I was going to have to take points off of this
movie. Her scripting is a lot better in this movie.
I'm so glad. You could see it in her face that she was about to say, "I got red in my ledger." Yeah. And I was like, don't say it. If you say it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it. Her scripting was a lot better in this movie. She had no red in her ledger.
None. None red in her ledger. In fact, she improves this film. Extra credit.
And Steve finally trusts her.
Yep.
And so they're like...
Steve is like, you know what? I got to trust somebody. I want to trust you.
They're like, how are we going to get in to break in this thing and get all this stuff? And Sam's like, you're not. And just throws down a file. And they're like, what is this? And he goes,
it a resume.
It's a resume.
Boom. I am the Falcon. Yep. He's one of, I guess, 2 Falcons there ever were.
Yeah, exactly.
They were supposed to believe.
Steve was like, I thought you were a pilot. He goes, I never said I was a pilot.
I said I flew or something.
And so,
but Falcon is joining.
They were like, where's the suit? And he goes, the last one's behind 3 locked gates and a 12-foot wall. And Steve was like,
and they're like, that's nothing.
All right, cool.
Let's go get it. We don't even see them.
They just have it.
That's how. Yeah. They just have it. Yep, that's how easy it was. And then the senator from Iron Man 2 shows up. That's who they're hunting down to get answers about Hydra. Yep. Senator Stern.
And you hear him whisper "Hell Hydra" in
Hell Hydra.
Senator Starnes.
Is that his name? Yeah. But yeah, so they're hunting him down. They have a sniper rifle now, apparently.
Yep. But probably just a laser pointer, honestly.
Probably. I mean, I've seen Breaking Bad. I know how this thing works. So they go in there and They pull him on top of the roof.
Steve roughs him up a little bit.
I will throw you off the roof.
I'll throw you off the roof.
And the guy's like, this ain't your style, Rogers.
He goes, but it's hers.
It's hers. And she literally kicks him straight off the roof. And Falcon swoops in. Woo! Picks him up. Thank God that worked. Man, that could have been super awkward. He
spills everything.
He spills it. He says Stephen Strange, which is, why is Stephen Strange somebody we have to worry about at this point? I get that they were like, oh, we're going to throw in a little Doctor Strange's out there.
Yeah.
But then Doctor Strange literally is out there, but in the future. And currently he's just a douchebag. Currently he's a threat. All he is a surgeon at this point.
Right, but like the algorithm knows.
I don't know that it does.
I think it does.
I mean, clearly
I think it does.
Yeah. So that's one of the people that they're worried about. Stephen Strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says,
how far away is that? That seems like it's going to be a ways.
It's a ways away. It's 6 movies.
Oh gosh,
is it before? It's after Civil War.
Yes, he would have wrecked face.
Yeah, so it's we got Guardians, Avengers 2, Ant-Man, Civil War, Doctor Strange.
Wow,
I think.
Wow,
a few. There's a few movies in there.
Yeah. Anyway, so those insight carriers, helicarriers, bad news.
Yeah, they are trained to take out any threat of Hydra now or in the future.
Yeah. And Tony, who would have been very helpful in this whole fight, I'm chalking up he's not here because Tony gave up being a hero and is currently being detained. And somebody else is learning how to use the Iron Man suits and put on a Tony Stark face mask. Because he would have been unbelievably helpful in this whole scenaro, and he just he's
but he blew up all the suits. That's why.
Yeah, because he's not a hero anymore. Because he's not Iron Man anymore.
Now I remember Tony Stark being in this movie.
You remember?
I do remember it correctly. You're exactly right. But I remember him being in this movie. There's a scene I think in Age of Ultron that I am attributing to this movie, and I will point it out when we get there.
There's a lot of things in this movie, and I think there's going to also be a lot of things in Age of Ultron that I thought were either from the TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or I dreamed and like weren't actual scenes or like I had made up in my head.
Yeah.
But did you have the same experience where you were like, because the big part that I remember thinking wasn't in this movie was where they go and re-meet Nick Fury. I actually thought watching it back again today that Nick Fury, when he died, was dead.
I forgot about that. I thought it didn't happen until Age of Ultron for some reason.
Yeah, I don't think he's in it.
I don't think he is.
In fact, I think this is his last appearance.
I believe you're right.
I'd be happy to be proven wrong.
Yep, we'll see. But so then we get they're driving in the truck with Sitwell, and then Winter Soldier comes in and just rips him out of the truck.
That is not a truck. That is a Chevy
car,
Impala.
Whatever. It throws him into a truck. That's what it is. Throws him into the front of a truck.
Yep.
And he's dead.
Gone.
Yep. And so we get a big freeway fight scene. Pretty cool. Lots of guns. Lots of blowing stuff up. Fun times.
Mm-hmm.
And Natasha does this cool thing where she like lures Bucky into thinking that she's in one place and she's actually in a different place because she uses her phone like on a speaker and has a message playing, and he's
got like super hearing. We learned that about him.
He throws a grenade at it and she's not there. The car blows up and she just like kicks him in the face and knocks
I think it's interesting.
his mask off.
Do you think that Bucky has like super strength? I know his one arm does, but this is
I think he is a super soldier. Yeah.
You think he's like full on?
I think so.
Super soldier throughout.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe so. That's kind of what I got from that whole like scene where he's remembering Zola doing all the experiments on him.
I see. What I was thinking was his brain has been reprogrammed so he can. Well, I guess he's got to be a super soldier because the way I'm seeing it is like he's got like perfect senses, so like he can shoot a gun really well.
Man,
he can obviously.
We only use 10% of our brains, bro. So like
that is not
all
true.
Zola had to do is like unlock the other 90% of his brain, and he's good to go, man. Like
sound like some real 40s era pseudoscience you got.
Yeah, no, he's a super soldier. That's what I got out of that. I might be wrong.
Yeah, okay.
You might be wrong. We might all be wrong.
I'll take
maybe
that. I think
he's a Skrull.
No,
I mean maybe.
No, Bucky is as Bucky does.
You say that. Maybe they're all Skrulls.
I mean, maybe that would be a great way for them to like just totally
end this universe.
Yeah,
like it's Loki playing a game of D&D with himself.
Right, we're done with all these characters. I mean, really, what I think they were setting us up to happen, and I will definitely talk about this a lot more when we review Thor Ragnarok, because it'll be, I guess, Black Panther will be the most recent. Is I think what they were setting us up to do was kill off Captain America, replace him with Falcon, kill off Iron Man, replace him with Iron Patriot, or Spider-Man,
or Ant-Man.
I think is probably the more likely. I think Spider-Man's the most likely because Spider-Man's in a Iron Man suit, and like kill off all these early stage characters and kill off Thor and replace him with Natalie Portman. But then Natalie Portman didn't want to do it. Chris Evans was like, I want to keep being Captain America. Like I want to keep, like I'm having fun here. And Robert Downey Jr. I think is pretty much done with it. I really do. But I think that the fans won't let him stop. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I think that like their plan was to kill off all these characters and have replacements for them. But then all the characters were like, well, I don't want to be done.
It's possible.
And then, like the best financial decision is like, well, then just don't kill them off.
They give a lot of outs.
Yeah.
And they don't take any of them.
Yeah. Why would you? You can be Captain America. Okay, so
Natasha kicks the face mask off, or whatever happens, the mask off. Mask off, Molly Percocet. Anyway, and Steve sees that it's Bucky, and Steve's like, whoa, hang on a second, man.
Hold on, this is a big deal. Okay,
this is
anybody who's caught up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? This is like whatever. Yeah, it's Bucky, whatever. And the score doesn't lend itself to this being the reveal of the movie. And my complaint when I first watched this was that Sebastian Stan, not that unique looking. That could be Bucky or it could be anybody else. But now that I've watched back through it, Sebastian Stan is pretty recognizable. And that's a huge reveal.
Yeah.
Like, you compare this reveal to the Mandarin is actually a bubbling idiot.
Right.
This one is much better. This is a great reveal.
For sure. This is the whole crux of the movie. And I think that's why I'm liking it less this second time watching it, is because, like, I knew the whole time the Winter Soldier was Bucky.
Right. and like in later films and everything. Like that's such an important detail.
But like this is the one thing I guess so far in the universe to me that lends itself to not rewatchability.
I think that shows how good it was.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right, because like if you don't see this coming,
you're
like, I cannot imagine watching this movie and not know.
Yeah.
It's like watching Star Wars for the first time.
Right, and having no idea.
Obviously not that big.
You don't know who Anakin Skywalker is.
Right, you don't know that he's Luke's dad.
You have no idea.
Or even watching the whole series 1 through 6 and being like, oh my god, he's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like, crap. But yeah, so I think that also lends itself to why this movie gets such a great review, is that like, that's a huge reveal. That's a big
For sure,
deal.
and like I'm watching it again the second time being like, yeah, okay, we know that. Avi is Bucky. Like,
right.
So it like I said, it doesn't lend itself to watching it a second time and still being shocked, awed, and mystified.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I think just to recap what we were talking about, the reveal is good.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great because Cap goes, he's like, Bucky. Bucky goes, who the hell's Bucky?
Yeah, but you can also tell that he's like the brain behind his brain is like, I'm Bucky.
But he does.
I know that guy.
He's super conflicted.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't know how to feel at all.
And then Cap's so shocked by it, he just surrenders.
Yeah, he doesn't even fight. And Black Widow's like shooting at him, and Falcon's shooting at him, and they get him to retreat, which is good, which is very good. And then we get a revisiting of their friendship again. I don't know if that happened here, if I just made a note of it here, but we revisit their relationship again. I'll give it more depth, which again I think is what was missing from the first one. And I'm glad maybe it's the reason this one is an extra 15 minutes of length compared to the rest. But I think that it was necessary. So what this movie was missing, or what this series was missing.
For sure.
And then we get our cameo. There's some movie that happens, and I can't remember what it was because I didn't take notes on it. But then we get a A+ cameo from Stan Lee.
Oh yeah,
walking into the museum after Cap is like, we're gonna suit up. If you're gonna go to war, you're gonna wear a uniform. And his early uniform in the movie was super duper neat. Although I think there was at least one part in the movie, I don't know if it was a goof or if it was intentional, or if I'm noticing something that wasn't there, but his shield wasn't painted.
Yep.
Did you notice that early in the movie?
No.
Well, at one point in the movie, early on, his shield wasn't painted. But at this point, he puts on the old uniform and his shield is painted. And
and Stanley is like, I'm going to get in so much trouble for this.
Yep. I'm going to get fired.
And I wrote a note that was like, ooh, we're gearing up for a big fight scene at the HQ. Because we are. Even if I didn't already know this was happening, it'd be very obvious.
Yeah. And they gotta give, I love that they always, in every single movie, they give Cap the silly little like, you gotta wear the uniform.
You gotta go to war, you gotta wear a uniform.
Right, they've gotta find a way to get him into that silly uniform. Instead of just, like a jacket, jeans, or whatever. And then they get a great speech from Steve inside SHIELD HQ. He does
the voiceover, like the announcement, the PA system.
Yeah, where he's like, listen, SHIELD is controlled by Hydra. You can choose. You can stand up. You can
Pierce
fight.
is Hydra. The strike team is Hydra. Somebody else might be Hydra. Your neighbor might be Hydra. Everybody gets bees. What?
Oh, bees.
Hey, he's just like, look to your left. Hydra. Look to your right. Probably Hydra.
You? Maybe Hydra.
Hydra. If you think you might be Hydra, please see your doctor.
Right. If you...
And Rumlow comes into the main control center and is just like, you're going to put those helicarriers in the air, man. And this tech guy is like, no, I'm not.
Nope, Captain's orders is what he says.
And Rumlow puts the gun in the back of his head, and Agent 13 is like, you don't want to do that. And
everybody's like,
like everybody pulls guns out because it's a room full of cops. And
yeah. Everybody's pointing guns at everybody. And that actually, like, it gets really, really tense. And then I didn't think it was going to play out the way that it did, but it does, and everybody fires and just hits the deck.
Yeah, everybody starts firing, and like the helicarriers get launched.
Yeah, and the guy has like some, I'm Rumlow and I can override the system.
Yeah, and
stupid.
Falcon has a great line. He's like, Steve, how do we know the good guys from the bad guys? Everybody looks the same. And Steve, the guy, goes, if they're shooting at you, they're bad.
Well, I think that it's a great line, but I think it's not just a line. It's like. That even goes back to Steve's, like, he says it early in the movie when he's being shown the helicarriers, is like, wait until they attack you, like, we are defenders. We are not attackers.
It's something he's had to learn the hard way, too, because in his battles, the enemy wore a uniform.
Right.
Like, Hydra wore a uniform. They had a freaking salute.
And Red Skull's head was literally red.
Freaking salute. It's not like the modern day Hydra people are just sitting there, like, double Hitler fisting.
Right. Yeah, so it's this, it's Hydra 2.0. Two heads have returned in the place of Red Skull. And they are, of course, Zola and Robert Redford.
Yep. His name is Pierce.
Pierce.
Alexander Pierce.
I was looking all over Alexander Pierce. Who even, like, as the movie ended, I was like, is he who the enemy was here? And he obviously was, and I think that's what makes him such a great deceptive enemy. Is that, like...
Yeah, he's the big bad in this one.
Right.
He is behind everything.
Yep.
The Winter Soldier is the hired gun.
Yeah. The Winter Soldier, later on, not a villain.
Yeah. He's we get a very Iron Man villain in this one, where there's, like, some stiff shirt in a bureaucratic position controlling a big old monster.
Yep. It's also that's also how Thunderbolt did it.
Sort of.
Nope. It's literally exactly
what you
said is exactly how Abomination works.
But Abomination I don't think was controlled by... Yeah, Abomination was not controlled by Thunderbolt.
Controlled at all. But
that's what I'm saying. It's like Blonsky. I almost said Romsky. Blonsky decided on his own to be Abomination.
Right. But anyway, so back to the film. We get, like, the great thing about this movie is we get a lot of big action sequences. But when it comes down to it, the literal combat between the characters is all about the choreography and, like, traditional fight choreography.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you've got these huge scenes with these big helicarriers erupting from the ground and flying into the air. But when it comes to, like, Captain America fighting, everything is planned out. You know what I'm saying? Where, like, you get to see him throw all of his punches, and he's not just, like, firing a gun into a crowd and knocking people out. He's, you know, there's choreography to it. I thought that was a really,
what
really
is
cool
super
way to
interesting about this fight scene, compared to most of them, is, like, you've got Falcon out here fighting people, and Captain America out here fighting people, and Maria Hill out here fighting people, and Natasha Romanoff is standing there in a skirt, hacking a computer. She's wearing like a pants, like a skirt suit, hacking a computer.
No, she's wearing a skirt suit because she's oh gosh, this scene.
Why are we sighing?
This whole movie was really good. I've had a few complaints. Okay. Scarlett Johansson's little mask where she can be the prime minister of wherever.
Okay.
Is the stupidest thing.
Is that what happened?
She, like, removes, like, a mask. Because she was dressed
I didn't notice the mask. I think I was asleep for that.
Okay, she was dressed as, like, one of the people on the council. The blonde woman. And she pulls the mask off and takes the wig off.
Mask off. Get mask off.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I missed that. I did not know how she got in that situation.
Yeah. So she was dressed as the blonde woman from the security council. Okay. And God knows where that woman is. She takes the mask off, like literally like Charlie's Angels kind of mask. Which you'll have to go back and find the scene and watch it and be disappointed by it. Yeah. Boo. So lame. Points removed just for that. But then you know, Robert Redford is like, are you ready for the world to see who the Black Widow really is? And I think that, like, she's like, yes, I am, because clearly S.H.I.E.L.D. thinks that I was born in 1984.
Right, like, she's got her alibi pretty set up.
Right, like Zola, who knows everything.
Knows nothing about her.
Right. So I think that's why she was like,
yeah, she's cool.
Okay with
because that's why he tried to hold it over her, because he's like, you know, if you send all the information out, they're going to find out about you too. And she's like, okay, cool, tight.
Cool. Boom, let's do it. And then Nick Fury shows up.
Yep, just strides
right on in.
Pierce has a line here, man, where he says, I can bring order to the lives of 7 billion people by removing the lives of 20 million people.
It's not good, man. That's New World Order.
Yeah.
And as soon as those went online, we know who you're targeting. And the people you're killing are very influential and need to not die.
Like Tony Stark.
The president. This is the second time we've seen an attack on the president in a row.
Is it?
Was Iron Man 3 last?
Thor the Dark World was last.
You're right. Well, the second time on Earth, on Midgard, we've seen an attack on the president.
And the whole time this is going on, they're having this, like, philosophical, political debate. There's, like, a whole battle going on in the sky.
Yeah. A cool battle, too.
Battle. Awesome battle.
Very cool battle. You know, and Falcon gets thrown out of the sky by Winter Soldier, and then he gets to fight
Steve and Bucky.
Romulus.
Steve and Bucky get their one-on-one.
Yep. And, you know, Steve sees him and he's like, Bucky, you know who I am? And he says, no, I don't, or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And then we see Pierce murder all of the Security Council members, including Charles Widmore.
Who's Charles Widmore?
Charles Widmore from Lost. So, yeah, we get Steve and Bucky fighting, and Bucky has this, like circuit board thing? What is it?
Do you not know what the circuit boards are?
What are they?
So, you missed something here. So there's all 3 of the helicarriers have to have the circuit board targeting system changed by hand.
Okay.
That's why all 3 of them are on 3 different ships. Okay. Hill does it like immediately, I'm pretty sure. She knocks it out, she gets it done. And then Falcon does it pretty quickly. And then Cap is doing his. And of course, he's the one that has to fight Winter Soldier, when that guy would have been way more effective at stopping one of the other 2 people. But whatever. So he's fighting Captain America, and Cap needs to get to the, like, computer brain.
Right.
so that he can change out one of the switchboards.
Very,
and he's
very
got
difficult thing for him to do.
Yeah.
He gets shot like 4 times doing it.
Yeah, not his best day. He's not bulletproof, turns out.
No, not bulletproof.
So that's what's going on there.
Okay, so he gets it changed out. All the helicarriers attack each other.
Yeah, super cool. They take their targeting sights off of all the people, and they start killing each other.
And Bucky gets trapped by a big girder.
Yep, and Captain America is like, I'm going to save you, Bucky.
And then he saves Bucky, and Bucky punches him in the face.
Yep, and he punches him in the face a lot. And then he starts realizing who he is, but then he's like, still my mission to kill you. So he keeps punching him in the face. And
Steve says, you're my friend, and Bucky says, you're my mission.
What a line.
Dang.
What a line.
Dang.
Yeah.
But then Bucky saves him.
Yep.
Pulls him out of the river.
Throws Cap in the water and then pulls him out of the water.
There's a cool thing that happens in here, though, where Falcon is like in the building, and he runs out of the building and is caught by the helicopter.
Yeah, he like jumps over top of the helicopter. So cool. And then the helicopter has to like yaw.
Yeah, that was so cool. And he gets in and goes, 41st floor.
And then there's some
Samuel
jokes.
Jackson's like, it's not like it says the numbers on the outside of the building.
Yeah. I actually was thinking about that as he said that. I was like, 41st floor, how on earth are they going to know what that is? We're just going to accept that they can count that fast? Yeah. And then what Steve actually says to Winter Soldier here that I think snaps him out more than anything is he says, I'm with you to the end of the line.
That was the line that Bucky used in the flashback.
Yep. And then he gets pulled out of the water. He wakes up and Marvin Gaye is playing on the iHome.
In the hospital, playing Trouble Man.
And then...
we see Maria applying for a job at Stark Industries.
Yep. Who's Maria?
Maria
Hill. I thought she was applying for the CIA job. And the Stark Industries job was Agent 13.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Because one of my notes says Hill working for CIA. And then I said, do we get more old girl? And I think that was Agent 13.
Gotcha. And then we see Senator Starnes get arrested.
Yep, which is good.
But like Natasha's getting interviewed by the government, by the Senate.
And they're like, we're going to put you in jail. And she was like, no, you're not. Because you
on
need
the side of Hydra for some reason?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, because the reason they're interviewing her is because you remember they said your whole history is going to come out as a result of this. You've done a lot of things for Hydra, so I think they're on the side of not.
Yeah,
Hydra.
I don't know. It seemed
then
it was a little bit of allusion to Civil War.
I don't know. They were like, we're going to put you in jail? And she was like, you're not going to put me in jail. You need me. And I was like, no, they could probably put you in jail.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You're kind of a liability.
Right. Colonel Fury's tombstone, when they visit him, says the righteous man on it.
Fury is believed to be dead. He burns up all his secret documents in his storage unit.
Which, I'm just trying to point this out to you. Sam Jackson's tombstone says the righteous man, like perhaps Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the Pulp Fiction thing. You will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. I thought that was
that's probably what they're getting at, yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was real funny.
But yeah, so we think Nick Fury is believed to be dead. He's like, if anybody asks for me, direct them to here.
Yep. He's not ready to come back to Earth yet.
Nope, he is not done. He's got to go hunt down Hydra. So they left the door open for him to come back.
So Nick Fury, we know is not dead. Nick Fury will be in Captain Marvel.
Cool, in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep. So anyway, that's exciting. Moving on. Ethan, we've finished the movie. What do we do next?
We have to talk about our post-credit scenes.
Post-credit scenes.
Did you watch both of them?
Refresh them for. I
okay.
did.
So the first one, we get Dr. Struder or something like that. Strucker. I don't know. Stucker. Dr. Stucker, who is a Hydra guy. And he has Loki's scepter.
Yes. We've got Loki's scepter still in the mix. Not only does he have Loki's scepter, if I'm not mistaken, he also has the 2 X-Men that we're allowed to have in this universe.
The Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
So we get introduced to them, and you see Quicksilver just kind of running into a wall.
And you see Scarlet Witch
playing with some blocks.
With her mind. Yep.
And then the second post-credit scene is like 5 seconds long.
It's real quick. What
it's just Bucky at the Smithsonian looking at the exhibit about himself, learning about who he is.
Even better than the other.
Yeah, how would he get in with that arm? Like, how would he get into like a museum?
I don't know.
Like, through a metal detector.
Maybe it's made of like a metal that isn't detected by metal detectors.
It's not. It doesn't have to be magnetic to be detected. Like,
I don't know.
They just detect metal.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
Ethan.
that's the one thing I thought about. I was like, how he's not gonna be able to get in with that arm. They're gonna notice. You got big scare metal arm, bro. It's got like a Soviet star on it.
It does. It's pretty scary stuff.
Yeah, like you're pretty obvious.
But I'm excited about our new characters for Infinity War. Not Infinity War. Wow.
Age of Ultron. The next one.
Yeah. Although I guess one of them is still there in Infinity War.
Many of them could be.
Well, one of the 2 new characters that's been introduced at the end of this post-credit scene. Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is still there.
Talking about.
Okay.
Quicksilver does not survive the next movie. R.I.P.
Yeah. Do you have any comments on our post-credit scene beyond that?
They were pretty straightforward. They were just...
Yeah, they were pretty revealing for somebody who knows what happens in the next few movies.
Yeah, but not very revealing for people who don't.
Yeah, which I think is what they're going for. So that's
kind of what God was going for. What did you think?
I love this movie.
Love is a strong word.
I mean, listen, I don't know if actually I love this movie, but I think that it deserves the grades that it gets.
Yeah, love is a strong word.
Because I think...
Strong word.
I think it has a lot of... nuanced approaches, but it's still really accessible. It's really watchable by anybody. It's really enjoyable. You actually have a decent script in here. It's a lot like The Dark World in that it's tough to poke holes in, which is a good thing. But then on the flippity floppity of that, it's just better than Dark World in every way.
Oh yeah,
considerably. Absolutely. Like a lot better.
Oh yeah. For sure. It is definitely...
I mean, as far as power rankings go, I think we're probably in the top 3 on this one.
That's a strong thing to say. I mean,
I don't think it's better than Iron Man.
Well, I'm not quite there yet. There's some... It's tough for me to agree with the rating on this one. Like, this is, at the time, I believe, the third... At the time of release, this was the 3rd highest rated movie, behind Iron Man and the Avengers.
Okay.
And, like, so I feel like it's got an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I know that critic ratings aren't everything, but, like, that tells me I should really like this movie. 89% is strong. Like, that is 11% of people were like, I didn't like it as much as I felt like I needed to. And I don't know if it had to do with the fact that I already knew the reveal, like that it wasn't a surprise for me that Bucky was the Winter Soldier, and I knew it was coming, but it's just, the whole time I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the movie. I had no major complaints, but at the same time, I wasn't just like, man, this movie is amazing.
Well, let me see if I can convince you.
Okay.
As far as villains go, Alexander Pierce. And Gorgonzola, or whatever his name is. Dr. Zola. Right?
Yeah.
That's his name? Okay. Clear motivation.
Yeah.
Like, Dr. Zola is the reborn Hydra, is, the future of everything, and Pierce wants to bring the world into a new world order. He's got a lust for power.
Pierce makes a convincing argument. I truly believe he thinks he's doing something right.
Right. He thinks he is doing the right thing, which, like, is the first time in one of these movies that you could watch this movie and theoretically, like, agree with the villain. I think that they throw in, like, he's killing the president and things like that so that you're sitting here watching it like, oh, no, that's definitely not okay. Like, that's bad. But, if he was like, I need to kill 20 million people and they're all very clear threats, I think a lot of people would be on board with that. And that's what he believes, is he's killing 20 million very clear threats across the globe.
Right.
So our villain, top marks. I would say probably the best villain we've seen so far, except maybe Loki. So that's good. That's a good score.
Okay.
Right? We get serious character development from Captain America, who up to this point has just been, like, not getting that reference or has just been a bastion of good. So we get character development from him. We also get character development from Natasha, who up to this point has just been a badass and now is, like, making decisions and sacrifices for herself. So those are both good things. So, we've got characters, high score, villain, high score. The reveal is much better than any other reveal we've had up to this point. That Obadiah was the villain, that the Mandarin is not who he says he is. It's really a huge turning point, and we get to redevelop that relationship with Bucky, which is good, right? And the reveal, mind-blowing. The action sequences, all excellent. It doesn't beat you over the head with special effects. It's got real fight choreography with really, really good stunt work. The movie makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It's got the dementia scene where you really kind of feel what Captain America is fighting, his personal battle. It nods to the VA and to what soldiers are going through. We get a view of a good American city in D.C. I really, like... It's tough to poke holes in this movie. You even, like, Nick Fury, who was a character I'm not super invested in, I like in this movie.
So... And I get what you're saying, but like you even said to me earlier that you would, out of all the movies, not just the one we reviewed, that you would put this in like 2nd place or 3rd place out of all the movies, all 16.
Yeah.
I can't do that. There's so many better movies in the series. There just are.
I think there's 2.
I think there's 4.
I think we've seen
one of them.
I think
we've seen 2 of them.
See one of them. You think the Avengers is better?
I think the Avengers is better than this, and I think that Captain America: The First Avenger is better than this.
So you think we've seen 3 movies that are better?
No, so far. We've seen 2.
You just said 2 movies we've seen, and I know those movies you don't think are as good as Iron Man.
Wait, what? Huh?
You said the Avengers
and
Captain America
okay,
are better than
yes,
this.
okay. Sorry, 3. Yes, 3. I think there are 5 movies that are better than it total.
I'm curious I know one of the movies you think is better than this. I don't know the other.
I mean, we haven't gotten there yet.
Because I know your thoughts on Ragnarok, and I know my thoughts on Ragnarok, and I know that I rank them pretty high. I don't know what you think is better than this.
We'll have to find out. So
Oh, yes, I do.
I think that if I had to rank this in the power rankings, I would put this in 4th place.
I would put it in 3rd place.
You think it's better than Captain America: The First Avenger? So
yeah, I think Hydra, even as a villain, it makes more sense.
I agree, it makes more sense, but like the power ranking for me, and I guess I don't know how you're classifying, but for me, it's just about like how I feel watching it, and I felt better watching Captain America: The First Avenger than I felt watching this
because it's a propaganda film. It's designed
right,
to do
and
that.
I think that's it though. Like it achieves that. I don't know. I mean, for me, it's a solid movie. It's okay. So let's look at it like this. Where's our power rankings? So we got it's better than The Incredible Hulk, obviously.
It's better than
It is better than Iron Man 2. It is better than Thor: The Dark World. It is better than Thor. It is better than Iron Man 3.
Yep.
So we're all agreed on that. Okay.
Yep.
It is not better, in my mind, than Iron Man 1.
Correct.
And it is not better than The Avengers.
I don't know. I don't want to speak ill of The Avengers because it is a super fun, good time, and I love that movie. But I think the villain's motivations are clearer here.
Oh, I didn't have a problem with Loki's motivations.
I think the character development is clearer here. I do. Why does Loki want to rule Midgard? Whatever.
Because he tells us in Thor: The Dark World that it's his birthright. He believes that he is destined to rule.
But I know an Ethan who, in earlier movies, would have been very upset if the villain's motivation had to come out in the next movie.
His motivation was that he wanted to rule the world. Like
I know, but like, what are the Chitauri?
Anyway. You can put this in post if you want to. There's a great quote of you being like, I think the Chitauri were explained just enough. I don't want any more.
I don't need to put it in post. I do remember saying that.
You can just quote yourself, get a little clip of yourself saying it.
Yeah.
For me, it's not better than Captain America: The First Avenger. I don't know. How do we solve this?
I don't know. I think it can go to a vote in our Facebook group.
I'm cool with that.
Do you see the merits?
No,
do you see the argument?
For sure, but
and I'll be honest with you. I'm having the same internal struggle.
And it's the same thing I told you before we started recording off camera, off microphone. Is it like I don't know why I didn't like it as much as I should have. I really don't.
Can you see critically why it's better?
No, I can't.
Interesting. I would have thought you could. I mean, I am having the same.
I don't have any holes to poke with Captain America: The First Avenger.
I mean, I could think of some holes to poke. I could probably think of some holes to poke in this movie because at the end of the day, it's all subjective,
right? And that's the thing. Like, I just to me, it does.
There's a major problem in this movie. Agent Maria Hill's in it.
She's a major factor. A downplaying factor.
No, she's not a major factor. They took her out of the lot.
She's still in it. She's
also in the Avengers, which you have ranked higher than this.
Phil Coulson was in the Avengers. I would trade Maria Hill for Phil Coulson. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's a worthwhile investment.
Okay. So I say if you Ethan and I cannot decide if this movie is better or worse than its predecessor in the Captain America
universe.
We
could call it a tie.
Can't call it a tie. It goes to a vote in the Bacon and Eggs fans Facebook group. The vote will go live
Thursday
when this episode goes live. Thursday.
Okay.
So if you'd like to vote, please enter the group and vote, and the results will be determined the following.
So we need a villain ranking to start with.
Villain ranking.
So we got kind of a villain by committee thing going on here.
No. Well, yeah. So we've got three villains total. Two villains, I think, are the two heads of Hydra that are...
Yeah, well, and just Hydra in general, as well as the Winter Soldier. I think you can't really separate them. The Winter Soldier, Winter Soldier is the left arm of Pierce.
On your left. Yeah. Right. But I think Pierce, Zola, Winter Soldier. Honestly, 1 to 10, I give them a pretty high score, probably like an 8.
I would agree with that.
I would power rank them right behind Loki.
I agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's an easy choice.
I would agree with that.
Better than Red Skull. I don't know what our power ranking is.
I still haven't gone back and figured it out yet. I'm a bad person, but
yeah. Well, you're not the best.
Listen. I will do that eventually, some point before we finish this whole conglomerate series. But good because I didn't need it last week because it was still like we're still talking about Loki, so I was just like whatever. So what is it on a scale from the Trade Federation goon to Sebulba? A scale of
Tommy Lee Jones to Heath
No,
Ledger.
you replaced him. Remember who did you replace him with? Was it Sebulba? Okay, it was Sebulba. Yeah. Okay, so Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face to Heath Ledger as the Joker. I'd give him like an 8. No higher than an 8, but an 8.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good committee system. Yeah, I mean, they had some real motivations. They were really fleshed out. It was really, really well done.
It was well done. Good on you, mate. Ahoy, matey.
Yeah. So Ethan, I need a breakfast food for this movie. And I'm coming up tough on this one. The obvious last choice in Captain America, not last choice, but the last Captain America movie we saw was very clearly a propaganda film. It was Grand Slam breakfast.
I think that was what we did. Was the Grand Slam from Denny's?
Yeah,
the Denny's Grand Slam, the Grand Slamwich. I think is what we ended up at.
Yeah.
So this one.
This is not a propaganda
For me, this one's tough, like I said, because I didn't like it as much as I feel like I'm supposed to.
That's just so weird.
I just didn't. I don't know. I still don't know why.
Okay.
So
so what do you? I mean, where do you fall on breakfast?
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking because I love breakfast food. So I'm trying to think of a breakfast food that somebody has recommended to me, and I was just like, nah.
I tried it. It was okay.
So for me, okay, I got it.
Okay.
It's it's like Eggs Benedict.
You don't like Eggs Benedict?
I get it. I eat it, and I'm like, I get it. I understand why people like this. I do, but I just don't like it as much as you're telling me to. You're sitting here going, man, this Eggs Benedict here is amazing. Oh, it's so good. And I'm just like, yeah, all right.
Is that French? Is Eggs Benedict French? Would you call that French?
No idea. It's got hollandaise sauce, so maybe it's Dutch.
I was thinking German when you said that, but let's go back to Ty doesn't know anything about Europe.
The answer to that question from a week or two ago was Ty didn't know where the Netherlands was.
No.
He also cut himself out saying Swedish cheese last week. So, just a reminder, Swedish cheese.
So, my breakfast food, I think, if we're going for something that
No, I mean, you go for whatever you want, because that's my choice. But
no, I know. It's got all the ingredients to be great. You can't argue with it. You can't poke holes
for whatever reason, it's just not doing it for me.
It's just not my go-to. It's not my my number one, my A1 sauce. Here it is. Here's the breakfast food of the week from your old pal Tyler. It's crepes.
Crepes, okay.
Crepes.
Really thin pancakes.
Okay. Really thin pancakes.
French for some reason. That works perfectly, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was asking you. I was thinking about crepes earlier. French toast and crepes were the two things that came to my mind. It's really, really good. Okay. It is really, really good, but it's just not better than pancakes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like really thin pancakes, genius idea. Genius idea. But it's better than really thin pancakes?
Thick pancakes.
Thick pancakes.
Dude, I want Belgian pancakes. Belgian waffles are really thick waffles. I want some thick pancakes.
Like a pound cake?
But pancake,
pancake batter.
Actually, no, I don't want that. That sounds so dry. My mouth is just closing up.
Okay.
All right, so we landed on crepes.
That's
that
what
works
I'm going
for me.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. This episode of Bacon and Eggs has been brought to you by Europe. Europe, please help Ty learn about Europe.
It's to the east.
Yes. It is to the east of you. I had to think about that for a second. That didn't compute at first.
It doesn't sound right.
We are to the west of Europe. I'm like, no, it's to the west.
I mean, it's also to the west if you go far enough.
Japan is, Japan's the far east, and I'm like, Japan is left.
The closest west. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bacon and Eggs. It means the world to us. Just as a friendly reminder, the question of the week is going to be, where does this fall in the power rankings?
Us out,
is
please.
It better than the first Avenger, or is it not better than the first Avenger? Yep. We need your help.
To
go
vote,
to our
Facebook
Facebook
follow
group.
The link and join the Facebook group and vote.
We're super looking forward to having you guys there. It's a really cool community. It's already, there's about 7 people there right now. So if you're there, we will refer to you by name. I can guarantee that. We're really excited to have that going. As always, you can also find us on Twitter. The show is at Bacon and Eggs 23 on Twitter, and I am at Amara Carlin, and Ethan is at Wow Now. The O's are zeros.
We're also there on Instagram at those names.
Yes. We just want to thank you so much again for listening to the show. It really means the world to us, and we're really excited to be bringing this to you every week.
And we will see you next week when we cover Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not super excited.
Super exciting. I am super excited. That is... Guardians of the Galaxy is on my list of 2 movies I'll watch when I'm sick from work. Do you know what the other one is?
I can't remember. Caddyshack.
Boom. So we're really excited about that, and
it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good times.
Hopefully, it's gonna be good.
Good times.
Also, guys, just as a heads up, I know we did the Sunday brunch for Thor Ragnarok. If you didn't get a chance to listen to that because you haven't seen the movie or whatever, there is spoilers in it, so we understand. But we're gonna do another one of those this week. It's completely off the wall. We're actually gonna be taking the Pottermore quizzes on Sunday morning.
Tune in for that.
And you can be able to tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's really just it's going to be completely off the beaten path.
It has nothing to do with Marvel. So for all you people that are like, "Hey, are you ever going to talk about anything that's not Marvel?" Yes,
but only this one time. No, I'm kidding. We'll probably do it again. Not this. Whatever. But yeah, so we're really excited about that as well. A lot of good stuff coming from us. Thank you again for listening. Ethan, anything else?
I've been Ethan Etchill, and it's been an absolute joy to bring this podcast to you. Until next time, arrivederci.
Ars longa, vita brevis.